Hi, my name is Frank Godisolo. Today I'll be showing you how to use Cognos Analytics with Watson to analyze your data and discover insights to make better business decisions. I'll also show you how easy it can be to present your data and even embed it into a web application. Before we get started, I wanted to take a minute to introduce Cognos Analytics. It's an AI-powered BI solution that can be leveraged across your organization to connect to data, create stunning visualizations, and uncover insights about your business. Cognos Analytics focuses on three core themes. The first is AI. We've infused artificial intelligence throughout the BI lifecycle, from data prep to analysis to presentation, helping you work smarter and faster. The second is confidence. By connecting to live data sources, you can perform analysis on the latest data, while maintaining a layer of security and governance to ensure that access is always governed by the policies that you create. Finally, to be data-driven, you need to be able to collaborate. Cognos Analytics offers seamless integration across your organization's IT ecosystem, enabling data scientists to work with business analysts while allowing self-service to the line of business users. For our demonstration, I'm going to take the role of a business analyst in the marketing department. I'll show you how we can take an Excel file like this one and convert it into meaningful insights that the business can act on. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how to create this dashboard showing not only historical revenue for product lines by quarter, but also a forecast for upcoming quarters based on historical seasonal data. I'll also create a breakout showing coupon success rate, as you can see on the bottom left, to analyze the impact of each coupon. And I also have a map view of revenue by state that I can interact with. So let's get started. Okay, so here's my Excel file, and you can see I've got a lot of data here. Just to go over it quickly, I've got my user data with first name and last name. I have some location data, city and state, latitude and longitude. And then I also have some personal information such as gender and income, marital status. I have some dates as to when the transaction occurred, so the year and the quarter. I have loyalty information and product lines where the products roll up to. And then I also have a breakout of what coupon was used for the transaction. I also have some sales information as to the quantity of the product that was purchased and the cost to the customer and how much revenue is associated with that product. So I'm going to take all of this data. There's over 100,000 rows, and I've moved it over into my Cognos Analytics workspace. And you can see that at the bottom left here, I have my customer summary file. What I'm going to do is click on these three dots, which is the action menu, and I'm going to say create a dashboard. I'm now presented with a bunch of templates that I can choose to easily create my dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and create the grid, the 2x2 grid. And what Cognos does is that data that you just saw in Excel, it presents it in an easy to view layout with all of the columns broken out on the left pane here. So with this, I could begin to drag and drop these columns and start building out a visualization. But Cognos Analytics makes things even easier for me. I can use an AI assistant and actually use natural language to ask Watson to build out visualizations for me. So you can see here it says, how can I help you? I'm going to ask Cognos to show me quantity sold by product line by year. And what I'm doing here is I'm interested in the product line. I want to see the historical quantity sold by product line. So I simply ask it to show that to me. And you can see it builds a visualization based on what I asked. And it also gives me a few options for displaying that visualization. So I can choose a bar chart. I can choose a stacked column. And actually, I'm going to pick this one. So let me drag this out. You can see that by dragging it out, it lets me automatically resize it to fit that quadrant from my template. And I can also maximize this to fit across the top half of my dashboard. So this is also interactive, by the way. I can hover over any of these data points and it'll give me a tooltip with the data, the corresponding data. But now I've got my years across the bottom. I've got the quantity sold across the vertical, and I have the product category defined by the color. The only thing I'm missing here is a quarter. So I'm going to go back to my sources and drag and drop the quarter information into my x-axis. And you can see that it updates the visualization automatically to include all of the quarters. Now for my second visualization, I'm interested in the coupon response. So what I want to do is I want to see the quantity sold and the number of the coupons that impacted that quantity. So I'm going to ask Watson to show me quantity sold by product line and coupon response. And it will infer that and create the visualizations. In this case, there's a couple interesting ones. There's one called the cluster point visualization, and you can see that it breaks out the coupon by color, and it also breaks out the categories across the bottom and the quantities across the vertical. I also have a heat map, and I like this one because it makes it very clear which coupons have the largest effect. So I'm just going to drag this one over, and I can clearly see that coupon 1 had a strong impact on computers and home office and TV and video gaming. Now, just to show you how easy it is to customize these charts, I'm going to go ahead and click at the top here, and you can see that Cognos automatically makes recommendations for what visualizations would make sense based on the data that I've chosen. It also gives me a list of all other visualizations across the bottom here. And for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to click this one, which is pretty interesting visualization. It's called a radiograph. And by default, it shows me a single chart. So I want this to be broken out by product. So I'm going to click on fields here and move product line down to repeat. And by doing that, you can see it breaks out each of the product lines individually. I also want to color code the coupon. So I'll take this coupon from the top and drag it down to color. And now I've color coded the coupons, and I can see that coupon is brown, coupon 2 is green, coupon 3 is blue, and so on. Now, earlier I said that these charts are all interactive, and just to show you what I mean, if I click on this red Q1 of 2019 at the top, it's got to automatically filter out this second widget. So now it's only showing me coupons for that quarter. And I can select multiple quarters, I can select the entire, all of the categories for that quarter. Or if I want to see, let's say, all of Q4 across all of my years, I can select Q4, remove year from my filter, and now I'm seeing all the Q4 data. So pretty powerful from just using a visualization. I'm going to reset the filter by clicking on a blank area. And for my last quadrant here, I'm going to go back to my data sources, and I want to see a map. Now, I'm just going to highlight here. You can see on the left of my column titles, there's a little icon, and for the names, it gives me a text icon. For my places, it gives me a little location icon. And that tells me that Cognos Analytics has recognized that this is location data. When I select the latitude and longitude and highlight revenue and drag that out to the quadrant, it's going to automatically create a map for me because it knows this is location data. So it would make most sense to represent this as a map. Now I'm going to customize this map and make it something that resembles what I see on my cell phone. So I'm going to choose, here it is. I'm going to choose the Street View map, which looks a lot more to what I'm used to and makes it easier to see. Now, I also want to do one more thing. Even though I've got my points here, let me make this a little bit bigger. Even though I've got my points here, I do want to aggregate these points so that it highlights the total revenue for each province and state. To do that, I'm going to take the country field, move it into locations, and take the state and also put that into my location field. So now you can see it's starting to highlight the province and state data. And now what I want to do is color it by revenue. So I'll just move my revenue into the location color. And just like that, I've colored the map based on the revenue. And the more revenue, the darker the location. So I'm going to minimize that now. But one thing I realized when I minimize it is it gets a little bit messy with all of these location identifiers. So what I'm going to do is customize that. and make them clustered so that it groups them. And that makes it a lot cleaner for seeing in a small map. So I've got my dashboard here. There's one more thing I want to do. I want to make this a little bit smarter. I want to add a forecast so that I can actually preview what's going to happen over the upcoming quarters. I've got a lot of historical data, and Cognos Analytics has a forecasting feature. So if I change this from a bar chart to a line graph, you can see at the top right, it includes a forecast function. And if I turn that on, it adds some dotted lines here, which represent the forecast. So it's taken this historical data, which includes seasonal data, and it's built this forecast with the simple click of a button. I can also modify the parameters if I see fit. Now, just to make this easily presentable, I'm going to do one more thing to this. I'm going to add some labels to my axes and add what's called data value labels. So I'll turn that on, and I will also change that to be a percentage of the category. So I've got my little percentages under each point. And I'm also going to update the titles of the charts, just so it makes it a little bit easier to understand what I'm seeing in each chart. I will bold those. So now I've got product line performance by year at the top. I've got marketing response by department on the bottom left. And I'm going to make the bottom right one say sales performance by region. And just like that, I've got my dashboard. I'm going to save that. And once I save it, I can share it with my teammates. So I'll call this Marketing Insights. Hit save. And you can see I've got a little share button here. And I'm presented with some options. I can share this as an email. I can export it as a PDF. I can also email a link to it. And if I am a web developer, if you're a web developer, you'll recognize this as an HTML tag. This is an iframe tag, and what it lets you do is you can take this and actually plug it into your application so that it displays the dashboard that you build in Cognos directly into your web application. We also support additional options. We have REST APIs. We have Java SDKs that you can use for different programming languages. And all of this lets you embed Cognos in your application so you can add a full feature dashboarding and reporting environment into your application and make it this easy for your users to extract insights from their data. So with that, we built our dashboard. I want to do one more thing and take you to our Cognos webpage. As a next step, I invite you to go to ibm.com/Cognos and click on this Start Free Trial for 30 days button. Give it a try, add your data, and see what kind of insights you can uncover from your data. You might be surprised. Thank you so much for your time, and until next time.